Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Olibeau, and today we're going to be looking at the Thrassian Stranglers in the new Stonethorn update. So what they've done is they've changed it to stack up to 50, but it's going to be a bit slower. And instead of damage taken, it reduces your health. You also don't have the healing debuff anymore. I mean, overall, I think this change was kind of needed, to be honest, because people are getting crazy numbers last patch, right? 120k single target on bosses. I mean, that's not a balanced game for anyone. So I'm glad that they've changed it. Although I don't really know if you can use it in trials anymore, because getting 50 stacks is pretty tough. So I figured the only place that's going to be really useful is Maelstrom Arena. I did a couple of them last week with the old Stranglers. It's kind of difficult. You do feel like you get one shot a lot, but also everything dies in 1 or 2 hits, which is pretty good. So yeah, here we are on the boss on the first round. It's still pretty quick. We're already at 25 stacks after the first round. I've chosen to have a shield as well, and I've got obviously my spammable as a heal. It's not too difficult really. I'd say it's about 30% easier, but it does 20% less damage. I noticed on some of the bosses I wasn't really doing as much damage as I was last week. I was hoping maybe I can also, if you're new to Maelstrom Arena, I've done quite a bit of Maelstrom. I've got Flawless on all 18 characters, but I've never really got any very good scores or anything. But hopefully, maybe we can see this as a bit of a guide on how to do Maelstrom. So my general tactic is I try and put my AoEs down on one of the portals, and then single target the other ones as they come up. And also what you can do is start with a heavy attack as the thing is spawning, and then then you're not wasting time. You get that extra little bit of burst damage. These 3 bosses, if you can, it's nice to be able to nuke down the first one. You're probably not going to be able to do the other ones, but as long as you just sort of keep moving around, don't stand in the red things, you'll be fine. Especially if you've got a shield and a heal as well. I am looting as well because I heard Succession's meant to be quite good. I think I used it for a week in one patch, but I don't know. I had a full set of divines and then I deconstructed it, and then 2 months later they buffed it, which is kind of annoying. Here we go. See, I'm already at 50 stacks by the second round. That's the third round now. So again, I'm putting my dots down. Everything's kind of getting one shot. As long as you keep your shield up, you're kind of okay. What have I got? Shield plus my health bar is 18k or something. 12k health is not a lot. You might want to consider maybe wearing 1 health glyph, 2 health glyphs maybe. Might make things a little bit easier, but then you're sacrificing damage as well. And I suppose the idea with this is you want to be able to farm Maelstrom sort of quickly and efficiently. I usually try and save my Destro royalties for these mini bosses. That's not super important. There you go, final round already. This one I usually just nuke it straight away and ignore the ads. You can kill it quick enough, I think. I did kill the Strangler there, just in case. Let's see. I never really know which skills to use. I was still kind of deciding what to put. So I moved my shield onto the front bar and Ellie Drain onto the back bar. And I also changed trap for channeled acceleration. I'm not a vampire anymore either. I know vampire was hot last patch, but I don't know, it's not really that hot this patch. maybe with some builds it might be okay, but from what I've seen, Blood for Bloods does make you super squishy. So especially for solo content like this, you're not going to use it. This round, obviously, you want to make sure you're watching out for those little Dwemer spheres that run to the middle. As long as you've got some AoEs down, you might hit them. But like a medium attack, light attack should kill them anyway. So as long as you notice them, you can see on your HUD like the little red dots. There you go, boom, one shot. The Dwemer spheres, I think they're probably the most dangerous thing in this round. But as long as you're aware and you move out of the blue AoE, because that's definitely going to kill you when you've got 12k health. Melee adds, I just try and keep moving, and then as long as they don't catch up to you, you're usually fine. So again, final round already. Pre-buff, put my Destro on the ground. And you've got to remember to stay in the green circle, obviously. And it's already dead by the time it goes to the next phase. And we didn't get any spheres spawning or anything. I feel like my sustain's quite good. Although I know I've played a bit of DK earlier, and that was pretty bad. But Nightblade seems okay, especially with like siphoning attacks. So I'm going to try using 4 False God and Ice Heart instead. I don't know. The sustain was obviously a bit worse, but I don't know if it was too much worse to the benefits of having an Ice Heart versus the loss of sustain. I don't know. It's difficult. I wish there was like a middle ground, because it felt like without 5 pieces of False God, the sustain was too bad. But obviously my survivability was a lot better with that Ice Heart proccing all the time. I'm usually quite lazy on most of these rounds. I just kind of stay still and let the enemies come to me, especially if you're ranged. It's not too bad. And if you see those troll breakers, you need to make sure that you kill them before they smash up these islands. Otherwise the island will disappear. Again, they die in just like 1 or 2 shots. Light attack skill, light attack. They're dead pretty much. The ranged adds on these rounds are pretty tough, so you want to make sure you keep your shield up and try and focus the ranged adds. And the big ones aren't really that much of a problem because they're so slow. You can kind of predict what they're doing. So there we go. And they turn really slowly as well. So if one gets in melee range of you, just keep turning around. You should be alright. Lemonades, they do a bit of damage for a game, which if you keep your shields up, it's okay. You can be quite liberal with your Destro ultis, especially on the Nightblade, because you get ultimate so quickly. And I'm always thinking like, oh, what round is next? I'm trying to remember if I need a Destro ulti for it. This round, the final boss on this round, I had a lot of trouble with last week. I did have a little bit of trouble again with it this week as well. See, my Magicka is pretty low, so I'm kind of regretting taking off the 5th piece of False God at this point. But what I did learn last week with the Stranglers is that the adds are really going to screw you up. Here you go, here's my death. Wah, wah. I didn't keep my shields up, but then again I didn't really have much Magicka either. Oh well. It's fine, because now we can go again. We don't have any of the debuffs. I've put my 5th piece of False God back on. Elemental Drain, I'm not really sure if it's useful in the rounds. Like, it's nice on the bosses, definitely, when the fight's longer than about 10 seconds. I didn't really find myself applying it on anything else, which is why I put the shield on the front bar, because I felt that was more useful. What I also learned was dropping ulti at the start on this phase just makes too many things come at once. Like you don't want 2 archers up at the same time. There we go. He's finished that time. So I dropped my Destro like right at the end, like when the last ad spawned. That seemed to do the job. This round, obviously, you'll notice there's 5 pillars and 4 of them are webbed, and these little hover things are going to run around. There's one. and if you kill them near the webs, what are they, totem webs, pillar things, then they will uncover them and stop the webs from being on them. And when you've unwebbed all 5 of them, like, it's going to stun the whole room and stun all the adds, which it's not super useful really, like, especially because everything dies so fast with stacks. It is nice though for the last boss of this round. So I usually just uncover 4 and then leave the rest. You'll also notice that some of the totems are glowing yellow, and when those little spiders come, you get a notification, and you have to go and stand near one of the yellow pillars, and it will stop the little spiderlings from killing you. Web spinner, so occasionally there's going to be like a little spider coming up trying to re-web one of the totems, but again with stacks it's only like 1 hit, 2 hits maybe. Swarms attacking, so go and stand by the yellow pillar. I'm trying to use the Destrioltes on the Flesh Atronachs because I feel like I've got enough damage on everything else. It would be wasted. And Lurchers as well. And again, they're so big and slow that if they get into melee range, you just kind of kite them around in circles and hopefully they don't hit you with a light attack. So I did find, especially with like 12k health, some of the big adds light attacks, they do hit you for sort of 10k plus, so you really don't want to be getting hit by them. But on a Magblade it's okay, because we've got Twisting Path as well, it gives us a bit of a speed buff. There we go, final round. I've unpinned unwebbed the last totem, and there we go. Boss is already dead before anything spawned. It's a bit crazy. I mean, it might take some getting used to. You probably have to be quite confident with the class that you're playing on. I feel like Nightblade is probably the most balanced in terms of damage and sustain and healing. Here the poison round. I mean, I'm a bit of a noob and I keep standing in those poison flowers, so I'm always very conscious of where those green circles are. I feel like I'm always needing to use them. I mean, if you can get like a good view of the room and what's happening, I think it's especially important on this round, because we get those. There we go. There's one. Those mages that come up on the corners, and they're going to like enrage the flowers and make them spawn and explode quicker. Trolls pretty dangerous again, so don't let them get in melee range, just like all the other big adds. Venom Callers still, they only take like 1 or 2 hits, as with everything. The most difficult thing on this round I felt was these archers. They their light attacks hit quite hard, and especially on the round where there's 3 of them, you definitely want to be keeping your shields up, and maybe roll dodging as well occasionally if you've got enough stamina for it. There we go, I needed the poison thing there. I stood in a flower. Fortunately though, those archers, they do cast a lot of slow abilities, so if they're stuck in a taking aim or a, what's that? I don't know, like barrage or something? Arrow barrage. That does make things a bit easier. Like, you don't need to worry about interrupting the taking aim. It takes so long. You can just ignore it and kill all the other adds, and then kill that one last. It's very unlikely that the taking aim is going to finish. Here we go, final round. I mean, last week I was nuking it before the adds even came up, and I don't know, I probably just messed up my rotation here a bit, but I did need to kill one of the adds. Yeah, and obviously once you've killed one of the adds, the other one's going to make that blue dome that you need to go and stand in to save yourself from the boss's shout. Again, wasn't too difficult. Now this one, I think I died on this round as well. The main one here that you want to watch out for is those fire spinners, because we have such little health that if you let like 2 or 3 of those fire ticks go out, that's really going to hurt. And these destroyers as well. I was using my Destro ulti on the destroyers. because they do a lot of damage. I think that's what killed me as well in a couple of rounds. Shulks, easy peasy. And again, I'm just trying to put my AoEs down before stuff spawns, so that as soon as it spawns... Oh, here we go. Here's the death. Oh no. I mean, it might attack me for 30 more health points than I have, which is a bit unlucky. I mean, if I had 30 points of health more, then it would have been fine. And also, I feel like I killed it as well, because I'd already thrown out a skill by the time that it hit me, and it was in the air. It should have counted, but yeah, we have to redo this round again. I'm being careful of the mages. Usually put Ellie Drain on the towers, whatever they're called. I mean, I have no idea what any of this stuff is called. I don't even think to give it a name. What you can do when there's like lots of ranged ones spawn, if you stand on one side of the room, you can kind of like get them all to move over to you and stack together. There we go. There's a spinny, flamey boy. I did bash him there. I probably should have. I don't know. I probably could have killed him first, but I was so terrified of that lurcher after the last round. So here we go. This round has quite a lot of flamey boys. So I did. I stood on one side and tried to stack them up a bit. You can kind of avoid the uppercut without having to roll dodge those things. This one's a real pain in the ass. But you can, if you've played it enough, you can kind of predict when the chains happen. It's usually just when it spawns and when it drops a standard, and then you can roll dodge them. You can block them as well. But what you definitely don't want is to be chained into the standard. Yeah, I mean that boss is super easy as well. Like as long as you've got your Destro ulti, I don't even think I could probably get away with not even doing any other skills. Here we are, last round already. This round I was saving my Destro ulti for the crematorium guards, you know, the big dragon lizard boy things. Obviously you want to be careful of those blue ghosts. I mean, it's been so long since I stood in one, but I don't think they do that much damage. Obviously, if you can avoid it, then you may as well. There we go, taking aim. Always do that one last, because, as I say, it's not really a problem. So once you pick up 3 of those golden ghosts, you can stun the room. Again, not super important. Like, you're not going to die if you don't do it. Although I do know that if you're very good at predicting when those gold ghosts come, you can like stun the last boss and nuke it without having to go upstairs. Those Ogrims can be a bit of a pain in the ass, especially when they start healing, but you can just kind of damage through it. They only start trying to heal themselves at like 20% health, so as long as you've got an execute and some damage going on, you should be alright. There you go, I've got my explosion again. Didn't need it, used it on the next thing instead. Kill the Ogrim, and then use the Destro on the big dragon. Oh, missed a gold ghost there, never mind. So yeah, round 4 is when you have them walking into the middle and they're going to try and summon a big Colossus. Oh, I think, is it Colossus? Might be a dragon. They try and summon something. But again, once you got stacks, no problem. You do need to be careful of the Creme Guard though. If you leave it alive for too long, it's going to do a fire breath, and that does really hurt. So you want to make sure it doesn't get in melee range of you, especially if you're not killing it immediately. You know, summoning ritual there we saw for half a second. Round 5. Oops, I got stunned. Try and pick up a ghost. So when you pick up 3 ghosts, you get the stun thing. I think I dropped my Destro ulti on that guy and it was fine. I think I've got 2 ghosts at this point. What I shouldn't have done is picked up the 3rd one there. I should have waited till the next one, because the buff with the explosion only lasts I don't know how long it lasts. Not long enough. There we go, finished that round. I should have picked up one there. Here we go, last boss. Just want to roll dodge that. he's going to port, and he'll either do a thing that you need to interrupt, or he'll do that big AoE. I mean, my damage kind of sucked there. Ideally, I wouldn't get a Krem Guard happening. Then when we're upstairs, I kind of Ellie drain them all, put my AoEs on one, and single target the others. And when you've finished the upstairs, you do get knocked back, so I'd like to jump off and do an execute at the same time. There we go, I had to interrupt him there. But again, with stacks, we do so much damage that it's not a problem. I mean, 2 deaths. How long did it take? 40 minutes, I think, that run. Got Maelstrom 2-hander, not great. But maybe we'll get an Inferno or a Resto or something useful in the weekly. Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it's been informative and you get to see how the Stranglers have changed. As I say, I think they're a bit easier to use. You can kind of use them in less places. Maybe like group arenas might be okay. I mean, Black Rose Prison, that's going to hurt a lot. Dragon Style might be alright still. I don't know. But for trials, it does seem rip. In Maelstrom, they're definitely easier to use, but they also do a little bit less damage. So I don't know. It was a change that needed to happen for trials, so I'm glad it has. Again, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe and check me out on Twitch, Discord as well, Twitter. I'm on all the things. There'll be links. Go click the links. Thank you for watching. See you later. Bye bye.